Hello, everyone. It's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are back once again with another exclusive for WrestleMania week, and this time we are talking all about Progress Wrestling, Progress Las Vegas, as Progress Wrestling will invade Las Vegas, Nevada for chapter 179 in the Sin City. So we got a lot to discuss here. I am doing this solo because I want to talk about one of the big events for Las Vegas, Nevada for WrestleMania week. We have all these promotions that will be invading Las Vegas for WrestleMania week. So WrestleMania week is not just about the big shows in Allegiant Stadium from WWE. It's not just about NXT Stand and Deliver. It is about all these different promotions, whether it be independents, whether they be from the UK, across the world. Japan is going to be represented during WrestleMania week, but this time we are talking all about Progress Wrestling, one of the top promotions where I am at in the UK, and they have a huge event that has some big matches, some big names a part of it, and we're here to discuss it with you. So appreciate y'all if you're joining us on the premiere here. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Either way, show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off in the live chat, sound off in the comment section, and give us your predictions for Progress Las Vegas. This might steal WrestleMania week. You never know with any of these shows. You know, Defy's going to be there, GCW is going to be there, WWE, of course, but sometimes WWE is not going to have the best show of the week. And this one right here may just be the best show of WrestleMania week in Las Vegas, Nevada. So we got about 7 matches to go through and give our predictions to talk about, give you some details about. So let's get to it. We're going to start off with, of course, how we start off every pay-per-view preview here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. What is your anticipation level for Progress Las Vegas? I'm going to put it at a -7.5. I've been looking over the cards. I've been doing my due diligence and my research of knowing about these matches, knowing about a couple of these rivalries. So I'm looking forward to a lot of this card. There's like 2 to 3 matches in particular that I'm looking forward to. So I put it at a -7.5. Maybe hearing your thoughts in the live chat, hearing your thoughts in the comment section will get me up to that 8. And maybe after the show, maybe I give the whole show in entirety over an 8, which is our scale for a really damn good show. But one of the matches that I'm looking forward to the most is actually a dream match that was first broke by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, as we have one of Progress Wrestling's top stars, Cara Noir. He's the former Progress World Champion. He will go one-on-one with a Japanese living legend, former NJPW star, former IWGP Intercontinental Champion, former multi-time never openweight champion, Minoru Suzuki. Minoru Suzuki, as you all know, he's been traveling all over the world, wrestling for so many different promotions. This is probably not going to be his only match for WrestleMania week, but it might be the most intriguing. Cara Noir is a unique individual who has really, grasped the imagination of all the Progress fans in becoming one of their top stars over there. So these two men have two different kind of styles, but will be a hard-hitting matchup. You know that with Minoru Suzuki here. Because Gara Noir is one of Progress top stars, I think that he does have a big chance of winning here. He's gonna be in his home promotion in Las Vegas at the Pearl Theater at Palms Casino Resort. But I am gonna go with Minoru Suzuki. Yeah, as you all know, me and Minoru Suzuki, we have our history. We met each other during WrestleMania week about 5, 6 years ago, where I asked him for a picture, and he proceeded to. I told him I wanted him to fake choke me, during the picture, and he told me I don't fake. Take the picture. Because if he would have fake choked me, he probably would have suffocated me and got a murder charge. So I am obligated to always pick Minoru Suzuki on like at least 95 to 99% of his matches. This will be in that 95 to 99%. I am going with Suzuki here, even though I wouldn't be surprised at all if Car Noir gets the win here. Next up, we got a three-way matchup as it's going to be for the WXW United World Championship. The one they called Manders, one called Manders, will defend against Tate Mayfair's and WWE ID star Marcus Mathers. So WXW will be represented here on the Progress card. Progress and WXW have a long relationship with one another. A lot of the stars of WXW have made names for themselves in Progress Wrestling. One called Manders, he has his history all across the independent scene. The first time I saw him was for Game Changer Wrestling. He was a big part of their promotion for a very long time, but he's really been making a name for himself over in the UK, whether it be appearances for Rev Pro or appearances for Progress, and now he's going to be representing WXW as his unified world champion, defending the gold here against Tate Mayfair's and Marcus Mathers. Marcus Mathers, another name that I first saw in GCW, but has become a WWE ID star. So he's been really tearing it up ever since then, ever since getting the stamp of approval by the WWE ID. Tate Mayfair's might be one of the most hated heels in all of the UK across several different promotions. He just has this charisma, this charm that gets under the fan skin. So this should be a very fun matchup. Three guys with totally different styles. Tate Mayfair's is more technical based. You got Marcus Mathers, who's a more of a high flyer. One called Manders is very hard hitting, uses his strength to his advantage. I'm going to go here with One Call Manders to retain the WXW Unified World Championship. I just like One Call Manders and what he's been doing over in the UK to put his name out there and establish himself outside of the United States. And I think that continues here now that he's back in the United States to defend the WXW Unified World Championship. Next, we got some tag team action with a familiar face as the boisterous behavior of Man Like DeReese teaming up with Leon Slater, our boy Leon Slater, who we recently talked to for True Heels BTR, and they face one of the more established tag teams in all of Progress and all across the UK, Lycos Jim, Kid Lycos, and Kid Lycos II. This should be a very fun, fast-paced, high-flying affair. You know, if you've seen these four guys in the ring, it's going to be a thrilling contest that's going to probably have this Las Vegas crowd at the Pearl Theater on their feet. Because we talked to Leon Slater very recently to promote TNA Wrestling. Didn't get the chance to talk about this matchup because probably at that time I didn't know I would be previewing this show. But I gotta go with Leon Slater and Man Like DeReese, right? I gotta go with my homies. Leon Slater, man, that was one of the best interviews I've done in a very long time. I really just became more of a fan of Leon Slater. I already found him to be one of the more fascinating stories because he started wrestling so young at 9 years old, and you know, him in his 20s really coming into TNA and making a name for himself, looking like a guy that they can be as an ace for their X division over there. But what he's doing in the UK ever since getting that exposure in the United States for TNA wrestling has been remarkable as well. Man Like DeReese, he has been getting his name out there as well. He was recently a part of the WWE tryouts in Europe and really impressed a whole bunch of people. A lot of people are pegging him to be a future signing for WWE, whether it be in NXT, WWE ID, or WWE proper. Who knows what's going to happen with him, but man like Doris, he's got a bright future. Leon Slater at 20 years old, he's got a bright future. Lycos Jim, I could honestly see them on any of the U.S. promotions. They're one of the better tag teams out there in the UK that have been making their name for themselves over the past couple of years. This should be a very fun matchup, but I'm going to go with Boisterous Behavior. This one is probably the match that has been getting the most talk about with various interviews all across the wrestling YouTube space, as you're going to see the Proteus Championship being defended by What Culture's own Simon Miller, as he defends in a scramble match against Adam Priest, Charles Crawley, Effie, the GCW World Champion Effie, and Paul Walter Hauser. Yes, our boy Stingray from Cobra Kai. Paul Walter Hauser has been really using his celebrity to promote this matchup. I've seen videos over on the Progress YouTube, as well as their social media platforms, with David Arquette and Chris Pratt. So he's been using his celebrity to get other celebrities to promote this matchup, to talk about Progress Wrestling, really getting their name out there and getting further exposure that probably this show wouldn't get otherwise. Paul Walter Hauser has made a seamless transition into the wrestling world, which makes a lot of sense because, as we always say, Cobra Kai is pro wrestling in a nutshell. So he has experience in the pro wrestling world, being on several seasons of Cobra Kai. It makes you believe that maybe Paul Walter Hauser might have a chance to win this one. You got Effie, the GCW World Champion, who's going to have a huge weekend himself. He's going to be defending the gold at Joey Janela's Spring Break, as well as Effie's Big Gay Brunch. You got Charles Crawley, who's making his name for himself and made his name for himself for the last couple of years over in the UK. Adam Priest is all around the independent scene, whether it be in the UK, the United States. He's made appearances for AEW, several matches with the Beast Mortos. But all that to say, I think that Simon Miller will retain. Simon Miller, one of the more charming and charismatic individuals on wrestling YouTube, really an inspiration for guys like me that came into the wrestling YouTube space over the last 7-8 years. Simon Miller's been doing it for a decade plus, for what he's done for What Culture and really making that one of the premier wrestling YouTube channels. And then he's made that transition into the wrestling world. He knows what it's like to be a pro wrestler. So that's why he is one of the best people to talk about pro wrestling in there, because he understands what it is to perform in front of the crowd, what it is to take those bumps. And him winning the Proteus Championship has really put more notoriety, more of a spotlight on Progress Wrestling. I think that Simon Miller will retain the Proteus Championship here. It's going to be a tough one because he has 20% chance of winning. But I'm gonna take my chances, and I'm gonna say he gets the win in this scramble match. Then we got another championship up for grabs: the Progress Atlas Championship up for grabs, as Axel Tischer will defend against Mike D. These two men have met in the past. They faced back at Chapter 161 for the Atlas Championship, with Axel picking up the victory here. This is surely going to be a hard-hitting affair. This is going to be very physical with the history that these two men have with one another. Mike D, a product of Belgium, coming out here. He's been making a name for himself as well over in Progress Wrestling, over in the UK, coming up in the UK system on the independent scene. Of course, Axel Tescher has his history in WWE as Alexander Wolf. He was a former member of Ring Camp, as well as Imperium in NXT UK. But ever since he's made his return to the independent scene, especially in Progress, man, he was a double champion. He's held the Progress Tag Team Championship and Atlas Championship at the same time. And I think it might be a wrap. It might be time for Mike D to get this big win. This is going to be the one I'm going to say I'm calling for a title change. I'm gonna say Mike D gets the win here. He wins the Atlas Championship, picking up the victory here. I think that he has a lot of potential to be a future star, future breakout star for Progress Wrestling, and you got to start that trend with a big win on one of the biggest stages that Progress will be on all year long. Next, we got the Progress woman, the women up here as the champion, Nina Samuels. I think this is for the Progress Women's Championship. It doesn't say it here on the graphic if it's for the Progress Women's Championship, but I think this might be for the Progress Women's Championship. I'm going to say it is. It is for the Progress Women's Championship, even though the graphic doesn't read like the other matches say Progress Women's Championship. Nina Samuels will defend against Vert Vixen, one of our homegirls here, one of our favorites, a THH alum, if you will, and Rio, who's been really making a name for herself. Rio has been all over the place. She was another individual who was part of that WWE tryout in Europe. She was also seen on Monday Night Raw as one of the attendants checking on Jimmy Uso before that bloody scene with Gunther murdering Jimmy Uso in front of Jay. Rio has really tore it up and been one of the best women's wrestlers in the UK, especially on the independent scene. Vert Vincent, I just can't believe how far she's come. I remember talking to her all the way back in like 2020, 2021 time, and learning about her gimmick, her love for gaming and streaming, and how she's furthered her wrestling persona. She's gotten opportunities on AEW TV and Ring of Honor, and now she's going to get an opportunity to walk out as the Progress Women's Champion after winning several titles across the independent scene. And then there's Nina Samuels, who's been a stalwart of the European scene. She was let go from the NXT UK. She was one of the stars of the NXT UK women's division before being let go during the time where NXT UK was shut down. But she's come up in the independent scene. She's been a big name over in Rev Pro as well as here in Progress, being the Progress Women's Champion. But I gotta go with our favorites. I gotta go with our alum here. I'm going to go with Vert Vixen for the win here. I think Rio has a big chance here because you want to capitalize on all the attention and the spotlight and the focus being on her. Yeah, that's a great option. And Nina Samuels, like I said, she's a stalwart of the European scene. But Vert Vixen, she's one of our favorites. She's someone that we've talked to on several times. We've had her on the flagship podcast, and she's improved so much over the last couple of years since the first time that we talked to her here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. So we're rooting for Vert Vixen to pick up the win and become the new Progress Women's Champion. But are we going to get or predict our third title change in a row when we talk about this main event here? For the Progress Men's World Championship, Luke Jacobs defends against Michael Oku. These two men have a long storied history, a rivalry that dates back several years. They have faced each other for the Rev Pro Cruiserweight, Undisputed Cruiserweight Championship. They faced each other for the Rev Pro British Heavyweight, Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship over in Rev Pro. And now they bring their rivalry from Rev Pro over to Progress. And boy, has things heated up ever since Michael Oku beat Luke Jacobs for the Rev Pro British Undisputed Heavyweight Championship, getting it back after Jacobs beat him last year during All In weekend for the championship. Oku was able to recapture the gold, and now he wants to take another championship from Luke Jacobs after Jacobs beat him for both the Cruiserweight Championship and Heavyweight Championship in Rev Pro. He wants to come to Progress and take the top prize here. He's going to have Amira in his corner as well as always. This has been one of the best rivalries in the UK across several different promotions like we've established here. And every time these guys go out there, they deliver a stellar performance. It's hard hitting, it's high impact, it's very physical the type of way, but I think that the intensity will be up even further. If you've seen Michael Oku during other WrestleMania weekends, he picks up his game because he knows he's going to get more attention, he's going to get more fans with his performances here. But Luke Jacobs is a favorite of so many different people, man. He really embodies that King's Road style, that strong style that you see from New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's a guy that has gone toe to toe and beaten Tomohiro Ishii over in Europe, over in the UK. Michael Oku has victories over Will Ospreay and Great Okan and others. So he's gotten big wins on big stages before. So has Luke Jacobs. This could go either way. This is really a toss-up. It's about who you think is going to pick up the win here. I think that, Luke Jacobs is coming off of him also being part of that WWE tryout in Europe. So he's got more attention, more of a spotlight put on him, and he's going to want a stellar performance, a spectacular performance in this matchup, especially being in the main event picture, being the headliner for this Progress Las Vegas show. Unfortunately, though, I got to go with Michael Oku here. I think that Michael Oku picks up the victory here, becomes your new Progress men's champion, and repeats a feat that Luke Jacobs just recently accomplished of being the Rev Pro British Undisputed Champion, at the same time being the Progress men's champion, being the champion of champions over in Europe in my opinion, the two top promotions in the UK, which is Progress Wrestling and Rev Pro. I think Michael Oku picks up the victory to become the new Progress men's world champion. But in my eyes, like I said, I'm excited about a bunch of the matches, whether it be the scramble match for the Proteus Championship, whether it be Minoru Suzuki versus Cara Noir, whether it be the three-way for the Progress Women's World Championship. This is the match I'm looking forward to the most. This is the match that I'm going to predict is the match of the night because of the quality of matches these two men have had over in the UK, across Europe over the last couple of years. I think they're going to tear it up again, and they're going to leave a lot of people in Las Vegas asking the question, was that the best match of the entirety of WrestleMania week? I think that we'll all be talking about this one. And I'm going to make sure I watch this show so we can talk about it on the True Hill Heat flagship podcast. So join us live on Saturday, 10:05 a.m. Eastern time, special start time for the flagship podcast this week because we got a lot to discuss, and NXT Stand and Deliver starts at 1 p.m. So we got a lot to discuss from 10 a.m. We'll try to finish up before Stand and Deliver kicks off, but join us for the flagship podcast because we're going to talk about a lot of these shows from WrestleMania week, but in particular, Progress Wrestling. I want to thank Progress Wrestling for giving me the opportunity and giving me the push to preview this card. Shout outs to them. I'll be tagging them when we post this up. When you watch this on our YouTube channel Monday evening or during the week ahead of this Thursday when they kick off for Progress Las Vegas from the Pearl Theater at the Proms Resort. So looking forward to that. Check it out. It's going to be available on Progress. You can check that out there. You could watch it like most of WrestleMania week events, whether it be the GCW Collective 2025 or any of the big shows. Defy Wrestling is going to be available there as well. Triller.tv, a great place to watch all the major shows across the independent scene that will be emerging from Las Vegas. But like I said at the top of this preview, I think maybe we might have just gave our predictions for what may be the best show out of all these independent promotions. Progress Wrestling invades Las Vegas for Progress Las Vegas. Can Luke Jacobs retain the Progress Men's Championship? Can Michael Oku hit that 6-star frog splash to pick up the victory and win the Progress Men's Championship? We're predicting Oku. What do you predict? Let us know in the comments down below, especially. Give us your predictions for Progress Las Vegas. Thank you once again to Progress Wrestling for giving me the opportunity to talk about this show and you check out all the great content we got here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Check out last Saturday's flagship podcast, True Hill Heat 324. Before we get into this week of pro wrestling, where we'll be discussing everything that goes down on True Hill Heat 325 with special guests joining us this Saturday, Dutch Mantel. Join us for that. And we got a huge week ahead for WrestleMania week. If you're watching this live on the premiere, you need to check out earlier today. We did our NJPW Windy City Riot 2025 review. Tomorrow we got Rated Raw review. I was discussing the final Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania 41 on Saturday and Sunday. And check out on tomorrow, we got our exclusive interview for True Heels BTR Between the Ropes, discussing this week for WrestleMania week, especially when it comes to the GCW collective, and especially when it comes to Joey Janela's spring break with a man that put it all together, Joey Janela. True Heels BTR tomorrow with Joey Janela. That premieres. Check it out, and plenty more content for WrestleMania week. But it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. Follow me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. This has been our special preview for Progress Las Vegas. We are signing off until next time.